Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
I have a problem helping those people out if they're screaming that after a hit.
Would you have a problem with American Christians saying, thank God, thank God? That's what they're saying. Come on.
Oh my goodness, he's so ignorant. He doesn't understand that that's part of the calling card of the jihadists. They're not saying it in a Muslim place of worship. They're saying it as they carry out the holy war against the West and against anyone who is not with them and their twisted version of reality, their faith, what have you. It's part of the holy war's lexicon. And yet McCain on Fox and Friends the other day was, again, the indignant response to a question that I imagine most of you would have. Major Hassan screamed Allahu Akbar before he slaughtered 13 at Fort Hood. The terrorists on United 93, the last thing on the voice recorder in the cockpit that they found in the rubble, and they burned charred rubble in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the last call was Allahu Akbar. And you want to say it's like, thank God for what? What Billy Graham says when he was on one of his crusades? It's embarrassing. The elites, sorry, your time is up. The people have begun to exert, again, their proper influence in the process. The phone lines melting down on Capitol Hill. Have you called? Will you call? Will you make your voices heard? And what has the response been when you do call your congressmen and senators? Garrett will make sure that link to all the phone numbers is up on our website, lauraingraham.com. I will be hosting the Factor tonight. Please tune in. DVR it if you're going to be out. Laura 365ers, a special shout out to all of you. Thank you for signing up, being part of our what I hope is our return to reality, and having a lot of fun at the same time. And we love the fact that you're part of our weekly pitch meetings now with our staff. We sit around, we bat around ideas, and now all of our 365ers are part of that. And you can tweet in questions or suggested topics, and we love getting your input. So thank you so much for just being part of our extended radio family. Joining us now, I'm delighted he's with us, and I promise I won't mispronounce his name because people do that to my name all the time. Congressman Justin Amash from Michigan. He's chairman of the House Liberty Caucus. He's a member of the Joint Economic Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, and he joins us now. Congressman, it is a delight to talk to you. How are you?
Good, thanks, Laura.
Allahu Akbar, McCain kind of laughed that off. Question from Fox the other day. What's your response to his snippiness lately?
Senator McCain's response was completely ignorant and offensive. Good people, whether they're Muslims, Christians, or Jews, don't scream "thank God" when they kill people, and it's completely outrageous that he would say such a thing.
Well, what we have now is I think, a stark reality emerging in the United States, where people are beginning to call the elites out, the establishment out, on its failed judgment and on its misunderstanding, misapprehension of the facts that are obvious in Syria. Right. And John Boehner, the Speaker of the House, who is a personal friend, and I like him a lot, but none of that is relevant for this point. He came out and supported the president on this and supported military action. What is your reaction to that before we get into your assessment of how the House will ultimately vote?
Well, at every town hall, every stop I've made, and I made 11 stops in 2 days this past week, so I could go out and hear the people's voices on Syria. At every single stop, I had to hear about how absurd it was that our leadership was coming out in support of the president on this. The American people don't want this war. Our veterans are speaking out. Almost 100% of the veterans I spoke to, and I had a lot at my meetings, were against this war. You had active duty spouses and parents. You even had some active duty members in our armed forces who were telling me, please do not go into this war. There's no win for us here. If you launch these strikes, you're just going to create a bigger mess, and we don't need to be in this.
Well, the calls in your office, what are they running?
they're running almost 100% against the war. I mean, the calls are crazy in terms of the numbers we're getting and the volume. And they're almost 100% against the war. But I decided I was going to go out and speak directly to the people at open public meetings so anyone could come. Maybe you're getting a bias when you get the phone calls. I said, let's do something open to the public. Anyone can come to these meetings and tell me what they think. And at my meetings, it was over 95% who were opposed to the war.
Your reaction to the Speaker of the House before the hearings even took place on Capitol Hill, throwing his support behind this?
Well, it was a mistake. And one of the problems we also have as Republicans, and a lot of us have talked about this, is that our leadership didn't come to us ahead of time to say, hey, this is the position we're going to take. Because our constituents have a very different position. And if you're the Speaker of the House or the leader, and you're going to take a position in support of the war, which is contrary to what the vast majority of Americans believe, and certainly the vast majority of Republicans, it might be nice to call up your conference, the GOP conference, and say, hey, this is what we plan to do. But we didn't get any of that.